a certain degree of political and ideological maturity that happens amongst the individual leaders of all parties, particularly of the EFF, because there is some emotive, subjective reaction to politics, and you can never get politics right if
Julius
every time.
Malema says it will never happen.
So that is the subjectivity which doesn't seem to be founded on sound ideological and political basis. And you can never get politics right if every time there is a political development, you want to emotionally react to such a circumstance. Then you're in politics for a wrong reason, because politics, you need absolute composure and you need proper temperament to be able to read the balance of forces and not to be emotive about each and every issue, because you will become personal. Like, you will even miss important opportunities. I'll give an example, Zianda, in terms of what got to happen in the first term when the EFF went to Parliament. Because there was, at the leadership level, there was a narrow oppositionist approach to everything else that President Zuma was doing or saying. But if you were go on and check now as to what was President Zuma saying when he was head of state and president, on free education, on the land and everything else, on things which the EFF stands for. But there was no appreciation that here is a head of state who is saying, let us unite all the black political parties to have 2/3 so that we can expropriate land without compensation. He said that in 2017, in the National House of Traditional Leaders in Parliament, he was very clear even about characterization of where our problems come from colonialism. The Freedom Front Plus even fought him vociferously. But because of narrower politics, everything else Zuma says is wrong.
But you were there. I mean, that's why people say
that is where you have to learn from some of the mistakes. I don't want to disassociate myself from some of the collective decisions that were taken there. But there are certain things which I must mention, though, is that I did write publicly, by the way, anyone can search that in Google to say that President Zuma was correct on the following issues, like on several occasions, to illustrate that we need to maximize on what he has said correctly. Mbuzeni will always remind me that you previously had said we must have a constructive and sometimes confrontational approach with President Zuma. And you were cautioned that everything else that we do with President Zuma must be oppositional, 100%. It doesn't matter whether he is speaking sense, whether he is speaking the politics that you agree with, you are just fighting Zuma. It doesn't matter what are the circumstances. I don't want to be in politics that are narrower like that. I will never be a part of such politics. That is part of the reasons that we had to disassociate with some projects, because you realize that there is no appreciation of different conjunctures and appreciation of real politics. It's about point scoring and wanting to outshine people and wanting to appear much more cleverer and much more radical than everyone else. And the majority of times, that doesn't lead to anything. So then the version of politics of President Zuma is that it doesn't matter what we have said about him before. It doesn't matter what people do. He always finds a way of uniting a common perspective to pursue a progressive agenda. And that is what I appreciate and I am proud to associate with, whether I'm a leader of MK or not.
You've heard there Floyd Shivambu and Zianda saying Floyd is Ikogi. It means he's a flip-flopper. He's not, doesn't stick to his ways. If he doesn't like something, tomorrow he likes it. He was with ANC, went to EFF. Now he's a MK, flip-flopper. But anyway, we're not there. And what Floyd said, he said Julius Malema is not a politician. He's a personal person. So he's going to have a bad time in politics, because he personalizes everything, which is not good if you're a politician. Please leave your comment regarding what Floyd said about Juju or Julius Malema. Cheers.